Hello, this is Fun with Bells. I'm Cathy Booth. Today I have three young ringers with me who have recently set up the Young Chained Ringers Association, the YCRA. Please can you introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Josephine, I'm from Sussex, but now I am at the University of Bristol, having great fun, and I've been ringing for about 5 or so years.
Hiya, I'm Emily, originally learnt to ring in Derbyshire from the age of about 7, and I now ring in the Nottingham area.
Hi, I'm Matt. I grew up in Kent and then moved to Bristol to do my degree for 4 years and have stayed there ever since. And I've been ringing for about 10 years now.
Now, Joe, why has the Young Chained Ringers Association been set up?
To create somewhere that was for everyone, somewhere that reached out to every young ringer in the country and created a safe space for them.
I see. And you'd say a safe space. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, as a young ringer, a lot of proper adult practice nights can get quite scary sometimes. I get very intimidated sometimes going into bigger practice nights. And it's really nice to be able to just hang out with younger ringers and have fun with them and not have to deal with almost the pressures of trying to be mature enough to be in like a proper group of adults. You can just have fun.
Okay, good. So I'm going to come back to asking about that sort of thing in a minute, but I'd like to find out a bit more about the YCRA to begin with. What is the YCRA?
That's a very good question. Does anybody here know? Matt, do you want to go for this one?
Yeah, I suppose I'd better give it some context. So about this time last year, El Presidente, Simon Linford, had a bit of a discussion with lots of people. What came out of it overarchingly was that young ringers wanted some sort of belonging, a big central membership organisation. I think the YCRA is two main things. It's a place, I'll pick up on what Josephine said, it's a safe space to provide a mentoring scheme for young ringers. What I mean by that is we're an organisation that spans from 30 downwards, so anyone can join us from 30 downwards. Obviously you've got that age gap between 18 to 30 and under 18 where you've got your safeguarding issues and stuff like that. So the mentoring scheme is really for under 18s to come and ask over 18s for help in ringing, and for all of those things to give them, I want to learn how to ring bob doubles, I want to learn how to put bell muffles on, etc, etc. And it's not just for under 18s, over 18s can jump on as well. So that's the first bit, is that mentoring scheme for young ringers to make them feel included and to better themselves in ringing, but also as a person. Mentoring gives so many great benefits for both the mentor and the mentee, especially young ringer wise. And it's a mentor not just for ringing, it's for general stuff as well. Explain this far better than I, but apparently when you're young you have like feelings and stuff, and like I try and get rid of those quite early on. Bell ringing, maths, and that's about it. In all seriousness, being a young person and growing up is lots going on, and sometimes you just need someone that isn't your parents or someone at school just to offload to and ask for a bit of advice to. And that's what we want the mentoring scheme to be, really, is a bit of a friendly face, not just for ringing, but for someone to say, I've got this problem. I'm sure you went through something similar. What did you do?
So anyone over 18 will be able to apply to be a mentor.
But under 30?
Under 30, yeah.
Between the 18 to 30. Yeah, they'll be able to apply to be a mentor, and we will have interviews, applications to not screen people, but to check that if someone wants to be a mentor, that they're safe and appropriate. And then once you've passed that application process, we will then bring in proper adulty adults, as we like to call them, to train you, give you safeguarding training, things like mental health first aid so that you know who to go to, things like if you want to be able to be a mentor for method ringing, to check that you actually know how to ring the methods that you're saying you can mentor, and things like that. So like it's a really solid system where there's going to be lots of safeguarding in place. Yeah, we're very focused on safeguarding.
Adulty adults, who are they?
It's a technical term, and it means real adults above 30 who are experts in their fields or known to be experts in their fields. Yes.
I suppose we would have mentioned some events at some point. So the first strand's the mentoring, and the second strand is we identified that the youth contest is, as some of our members have described it, the best day of the year, which I totally agree with. But it's once a year, and it's still got that competition element to it. So what we wanted to do is have some events where you just get young ringers together from all over the country in a central hub somewhere, and you just ring and socialise together. And that's the really important bit of that, is it's not just going to be bell ringing, it's going to be meeting up and socialising, talking to other young ringers, having fun with them, most importantly, and just making those connections and showing young people that ringing is fun.
There's logistical issues with that. Are you going to do anything regionally?
We're going to try and move the big events around. So they're not all going to be London-based, for example. We're going to try and move them around. And then we admit that there will be smaller ones. For example, if we go do one in Scotland, few people are going to travel there. But it'll be something great for the Scottish ringers. Secondly, as soon as you're a member of the YCRA, the whole point of the YCRA is to give young ringers the support that they need to do whatever they want in ringing. So if that is, I want to organise my own young ringers event, they just need to email us, give us a call, whatever, ask their mentor, and they will give them all the support they need to organise their own tour. So you're not just limited to the events that the committee organise in a year. You can go and do your own. If you've not got enough of a ringing fix, you're like, I need more of this. Brilliant. Go do it yourself.
And Emily and I have spent lots and lots of late nights writing guides on how to organise outings safely, how to run towers, how to act when you're going to a new tower for the first time, and things like that. So we're hoping to create this massive pile of documents of different things that can help young ringers when they want to organise things themselves.
And you say pile of documents, what format is it going to be in?
We're hoping that eventually we'll be able to just upload it all to our website. So anyone who can access our website will then be able to access all these documents that hopefully will not just be written by Emily and myself, but from experts in everything to do with ringing.
That sounds a really useful repository. Now, the mentors, how are you going to match them, the mentees and the mentors?
Speed dating.
We're after somebody to facilitate that for us, are we not, Matt?
Yes, we are.
So if anyone wants to become our membership secretary, please do get in touch.
So, what have you done so far? You've talked about your plans and you've talked about this repository you're going to put together. You do have a website. I've seen that. What else have you done so far?
We haven't been able to do all that much yet because we've been mostly trying to just get off the ground, see if people are actually interested in membership and wanting to be a part of our association. But we did take over the social part of the National Youth Contest, had lots of games, had lots of food and drink and so much pizza. So I've never seen that much pizza in my life. A lot of pizza and a lot of clearing up after. But that was our first, will people actually want to be involved on a larger scale rather than just talking to our friends and people individually.
The event at the youth contest was a bit of a litmus paper type thing of seeing, very much thrown into the deep end. It was very new for the competition. It was very new for us. And to be honest, we had no idea what we were doing. So my idea to that was buy toilet paper. So I did. And we ended up wrapping prominent ringers in toilet paper. So we had Mark Regan became a mummy, as did Simon Linford. Julia Cater and David Hull went back to back and were wrapped in it. We had just some softball, stuff like that, lots of pizza.
Tug of War was my fave.
Tug of War. Great thing with under 18s and kids like that is you give them stuff and they do completely the opposite of what you expected them to do with it. Which is excellent, although we went to quite a lot of of effort putting a quiz together, and it never got used because we were wrapping people in toilet roll. But
It's fine.
hey,
Bitter about it at all.
um,
No.
If somebody hears this podcast and wants to get involved in that or the YCRA, what do they do?
Go to our website.
And
Go to join. Join.
right, okay. And how are you going to get the word out?
Tell your friends, please. Even if they're not ringers, just tell them.
Please.
Is there a cost involved?
It does cost some money. It's £15 per year, and that money goes to making sure that you're safe for a start, and you also get a nice little shiny gold badge and a little book that we wrote. It's got hopefully useful information about events in the year. We've got our code of conduct. We wrote 10-point code of conduct. Basically, be a nice human being. What else do we have? A little guide to ringing etiquette, because we realise that not everyone grows up in the ringing community, and if you're a new ringer, it's crazy. Do I just grab hold? What do I do? Do I just sit there and wait for people to come and talk to me? What's expected of me in a tower? What's expected of me if I go to a new place during a practice night for the first time? Yeah, Josephine and I wrote a handy guide.
That sounds really useful.
Yeah. A lot were actually really complimentary. Nice about it.
Yes.
Because I don't come from like a ringing family. I don't come from like a ringing background. None of the rest of my family ring. And so the first time that I went into a tower, I was just so lost. So lost. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Help. So to have something that's like a nice little easy guide of this is what you need to do makes life so much easier.
Our little book is part of the £15.
But for any reason can't afford it, you can always contact us directly. We want this group to be as inclusive as possible. Any money that we have left over, we can go towards subsidising or paying if you cannot afford to join this group. Like, we do not want money to be the reason that someone can't be a part of our association.
Good. There may be adults listening to this podcast. What do you want them to do?
spread the word. Yeah. Get adults are great because they help teach people and that they get people in. What we want to show young ringers is there's more to life than adults, and the only way we can do that is by adults telling young ringers that we exist, and that, look, there's an association that will cater for your needs, help bring you on, but also help you ring with your peers and have a really good time. So if adults can tell people, get the word about us, that would be excellent.
Generally in the tower, Josephine, you said you were scared by the adults in that tower. I'm getting into this word.
Rolls off the tongue. It's beautiful.
What can they do, if anything, to make just I'm not talking about the YCRA for a minute, but just generally, what could older people do to make younger people feel more comfortable?
I think there is always going to be a certain level of a teenager being terrified to walk into a room of adults. There's always going to be an aspect of that that's there. But I think just listen to your young ringers. Ask them if they want to try something new. Ask them if they want to try conducting or being in charge of a practice for an evening. And when they do, listen to them and let them lead. Let them step up and have confidence in them that they can do this.
Thank you to my guests, Josephine Leggett, Matthew Jerome and Emily Hall, from the newly formed Young Chained Ringers Association. This podcast was put together by a team. Special thanks go to Anne Tansley-Thomas and John Gwynn, Leslie Belcher and the Society of Cambridge Youths for the recording of their ringing.